Quick snap. Breeze. Pass is incomplete. No flag.
Hot Mic Sports, home and hot takes where we keep the mic hot. This your host, Dev. We back with a new episode. Thank you for joining me. Let's go ahead and get right into this, y'all. Seemed just like yesterday, 2019 NFC Championship game, New Orleans Saints, LA Rams. Controversial call that has seemed to spill over residue all the way into the 2025-26 season. Let's talk about it. Does the NFL have a referee problem? What's going on, right? Seems there's no consistency with play calling anymore as far as penalties and flags go. One week, one thing is good. The next week, they're not calling it. Now, as a fan, I'm very frustrated, and I'm sure a lot of y'all are too. We just had a play go down with the Buffalo Bills, Denver Broncos game. Josh Allen and Brandon Cooks, the play wasn't even reviewed, y'all. Wasn't even reviewed. They let it go on. A lot of people felt like he was down by contact. Some people felt like it was pass interference. Some people felt like it was an interception. But guess what? The referees didn't even stop the game or think enough to go back and review the play to see the outcome that could have possibly changed the game. These are the conditions that we're dealing with when we watch NFL football these days, and now it seems like nothing is the same, right? You got sports betting. You got genuine fans who just want to see a good game, but no matter what, the officiating seems to differentiate the outcome of the game. Momentum doesn't matter anymore. Play calling doesn't seem to matter anymore at big pivotal moments of certain games. Now, certain fans can feel screwed when you tune in and you can see the things happen with your own eyes and you're like, hey, what the hell is going on? Did the referees not see that? But for some strange reason, we have a phantom call on an offensive lineman down the field or a phantom call on offensive holding and things of that nature that also kill momentum in the game. Now, not only is the inconsistency killing the game, but we're talking about plays and penalties that used to not be a thing. For instance, roughing the passer. What's roughing the passer anymore, right? I do understand sometimes the quarterback can get roughed up sometimes and it's intentional and you can actually see the player's intentions when it happens. But sometimes it's like, is the NFL that soft? It seems like since Tom Brady got hurt in 2008 with the ACL injury, they're a little more strict on quarterbacks, right? Now, yeah, if you're an athletic quarterback, if you like to run the ball, you're more susceptible to getting hit. I get it, right? But sometimes an arm hitting a helmet or a player maybe getting pushed down by accident because of momentum from a defensive player, that shouldn't matter, right? Nobody's literally grabbing the quarterback and throwing him to the ground. Then I can understand. But now it seems like just a little bit, you touch the quarterback, it's a flag. Certain players get certain calls. Some players don't get certain calls, right? Like your Patrick Mahomes of the league, right? He'll get penalties called on him, or against him that Joe Burrow may not get, or Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen, just because they'll run a little bit more. And even though Patrick Mahomes has seemed to run a little bit more at this point in his career, they're still calling flags where you're like, hey, it's a head-scratching play, right? Pass interference is another big one. It seems like there's no more one-on-one battles down the field with referees and wide receivers and cornerbacks, because the referee is going to step in no matter what. If it's the playoffs, the Super Bowl, regular season, all I need is consistent play calling. If the best receiver and the best cornerback on the team cannot battle it out down the field for the ball, I don't know what kind of league we're watching anymore. That's one of the most spectacular positions in the NFL, and it seems we don't see any more spectacular catches on a consistent basis because when the cornerback seems to fight, flag. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand if he's not looking for the ball or looking to make a play on the ball, but if they can't really just battle downfield for the ball, then what's a pass interference call anymore? The same as the roughing the passer. It's not consistent. Holding is not consistent, right? That's the biggest complaint I think fans have with the NFL, other than the phantom calls, is the inconsistency, right? And certain stars getting certain treatment, certain teams getting certain treatment. For example, the New England Patriots when they had Tom Brady, or even now in current events, Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Come on, we all have eyes. We all can see what's happening on the field. The cameras are on, bright lights, millions of fans are tuned in, and yet the referees still mess up the call. Still, right? The same way we just had with this Josh Allen, Buffalo Bills, Brandon Cooks thing. Referees, for whatever reason, decide when and when they don't want to review a call. And unfortunately, us as fans who are trying to enjoy the game, we can't enjoy the game because momentum gets killed, right? And it seems to be that in certain games, certain things are called. Certain games, certain things are not called. Once again, that's an inconsistency problem. So fans feel like we're constantly getting screwed because we can't watch a regular game, right? And I don't want to call the NFL rigged, but it seems certain weeks, certain matchups against certain teams, flags are flying. And then other weeks, flags aren't flying. What's going on with that, right? NFL playoffs. Yeah, they didn't review the play, right? But right now with 2026, everything can be seen. There's nothing you can hide anymore. So if something happens that we all can see as fans, the NFL and the referees should not pick and choose when they want to review a play. Now, along with these controversy calls, changing the momentum of the game, but they're changing the outcome of the game, right? Imagine what would have happened, for instance, if they actually reviewed the play with Josh Allen, Brandon Cooks against the Denver Broncos. Would the Buffalo Bills have won the game? Things like this change the outcome. And it seems like week to week, us as fans can't rely on referees being consistent. So it leads us to ask ourselves, the game that we love and we're tuning into, is the NFL rigging the games? Is the referees getting paid? Is Vegas have a foot in this thing? Right? Especially with sports betting. I'm not even going to get into that. But it seems the NFL needs to figure this thing out. Because us as fans sitting from the couch can see the game and can see things happening in real time. There's no way the NFL and the referees can't figure this thing out. We've been complaining about this since 2019. It seems just be getting worse and worse and worse. And it's like they want to dictate the outcome instead of letting the players just play the game and the fans just enjoy what we're watching. Now, with that being said, moving forward, I think there should be some kind of structure in place to where if there is a controversial call, then it should not be just the referees determining it. Yeah, they got New York and whatever calling down and, putting their input in and everything, but the referees need to be suspended, right? If you're not going to train them better to make the right calls, they should be suspended when they miss calls, right? Or they should be fined, one of the two. Because until that happens, things like getting play calls correct in the NFL playoffs should matter, and they're not going to change. But it has to be some kind of consequence or penalty for the referee not calling the play. Us as fans should not be penalized for just trying to enjoy the game that we love, right? Moving on, because I don't want to get too much into that. Let's talk about the star treatment, okay? Now, certain players in the NFL don't get flags or get more flags than others. And yeah, I understand for money reasons. But when you're talking about morals and integrity of the game of football, I think every player should be not only created equal, but penalized equally. Because they're on the field, they're playing, they're no different than anybody else. I understand some players may be better than others, but when it comes to keeping the integrity of the game intact, flags should be called equally on all players. All players. Doesn't matter if you're the best corner in the league, doesn't matter if the best quarterback in the league, defensive player, whatever the case may be, all flags should be created equal for every player on the field. Now, I'm going to say this for all fans who watch the NFL. Every time I tune into the game and momentum is going good and the game is getting good, it really frustrates me when we have to stop the game because of a flag that referees have to huddle around and try to figure out together. Well, who threw the flag? Who threw the flag? Because that individual is the one who should be explaining, not a huddle of referees who have to get together and figure out what the penalty is, because that right there seems to be the problem, right? Nobody has this figured out. So us here at Hot Mike Sports have a recommendation for the NFL. I think moving forward, referees should be penalized and fined when plays are called or misrepresented in the wrong way. If it changes the momentum of a game, changes the outcome of a game, and I think that the greater the game, for example, AFC Championship, NFC Championship, Super Bowl, the penalty or fine should be higher. Until this is put in place, NFL referees are going to continue to change the outcome of games. And until that happens, us as fans are not going to be able to enjoy this game like we used to. For this specific reason. The best team whoever's playing the hardest, putting it all on the field, what we can see should be the ones to win the game. The ones who makes the plays when the plays needed to be made, the ones who sacrifice blood, sweat, and tears out there on the field playing their hardest should not be penalized because of a phantom call or a call that wasn't called, right? Until that happens, y'all, we're going to continue to be frustrated. We're going to continue to yell at our TVs. We're going to continue to complain. And don't get me wrong, for the most part, the NFL is doing a good job. But when it comes to these penalties, they need to buckle down and get it right with the NFL and the referee staffs that they have on these fields for every game. Because I know, just like you know, we're all seeing the same exact thing. This is Devin Hot Mike Sports. Drop a comment below. Let me know how you feel about the NFL referees and if you think there should be some kind of penalty or fine for the referees. Because until that happens, I think we're all going to continue to be frustrated by this, y'all. This is Devin Hot Mike Sports. I appreciate you tuning in for our weekly episode. I see you next week around the same time. Until then, keep it hot, y'all.